Europe is far behind. If you're talking about, you have the US, probably started to develop as an institutional market for student housing about 25 years ago. The UK followed some years after, and there you see now that the student housing market is just, yeah, it's become a serious industry. Like billions per year get invested. Europe is still very far behind in that sense in terms of volume. We see now a lot of interest also from people from the US, from the UK to enter the European market. Everybody has money and they all want to invest. But the product that they want to buy just isn't there yet. So what we see now, where we are in the development phase, is that local developers, local operators are starting to develop portfolios. And international investors are eager with their bags of money to snap some of those properties up. If you talk about like where it's going and what are hotspots, I think you have to first realize that there's the numbers are still fundamentally out of balance. In many places, there's just still not enough student housing. If anyone knows a student in Amsterdam, they can tell you it's not easy to find a place to live here. Not for anyone, but especially not for students. So that's the case in many university cities across Europe. So there's a huge opportunity there, just in terms of numbers. So I think we are going to continue to see growth in that. And then there are just things happening in the higher education sector that are changing the game as well. Across the world, about the number of students entering higher education is going to double in the next 10 years. That's mostly in developing countries, Africa, South America, Asia. So that doesn't help us very much in Europe here, but it's also the sources of, those are the source countries of our international students. So if we look at international student numbers, those are growing incredibly quickly. And those are people who need housing. They cannot just live with their uncle or aunt or wherever in a spare bedroom. They really need something, and they also have different and specific demands. So that's a huge growing market. For instance, the Dutch university system has 28% growth this year only in pre-registrations for the next year of international students. So that's just an illustration of the developments that are happening in education right now. So I think that's what's going to drive the industry, the demand side. And then at the same time, you have the investor pressure for developing more products. So yeah.